In a desolate region of the universe, it was over 90 billion light-years away from humanity. Luo Feng first used his god country to teleport to the nearest coordinates, and then using teleportation he spent 2 days before finally arriving. Teacher, this is where we live? The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng carried the blood shadow blade on his back and stood in the pitch-black space. With a glance, it was completely pitch black, there was no light at all, not a single star, it was absolutely silent and cold. Universe nothingness? Luo Feng thought. As the universe evolves, galaxies are born, and there's always some distance between galaxies. And large amounts of galaxies form a starfield. The distance between starfields is even greater. The distance between starfields is even greater. As for the human domain and the other domains, they were filled with incomparably vast pitch-black lands. Even in the universe, there are a few hundred million light-years or even a few billion light-years in diameter, completely dark and silent. With Luo Feng's power, if his vision couldn't even see a single light, then this empty space must be terrifyingly huge. Disciple, why aren't you coming in? A voice resounded in Luo Feng's ears. Luo Feng immediately turned. What? A resplendent golden and beautiful bridge appeared. The entire bridge seemed to be made of transparent crystals. Luo Feng immediately flew over and landed on the bridge, simultaneously walking towards the end. As he walked, he immediately felt the space change violently. Luo Feng immediately checked the universe coordinates. He was shocked to find that every step he took on the bridge crossed over 10 million light-years. From one end of the bridge to the other, the universe coordinates had already moved 1.2 billion light-years. At the end of the bridge was an exquisite pool. Within it were all sorts of fishes swimming. Not right. Luo Feng turned to take a look. The bridge before seemed like it was only 100 m long, yet it had crossed 1.2 billion light-years. The pool before him was 100 m in diameter. However, with Luo Feng's god energy senses, how was this a pool? How was there any fish? It was simply an extremely powerful domain treasure. Walking along the pool, there were flower beds and grass patches. Luo Feng looked carefully. Those blades of grass were actually ancient trees. Even the decorating stones beside were actually star-sized metals. Powerful. His control over space is too incredible. As Luo Feng walked, he was getting more and more shocked. His teacher's residence was extremely quiet, like that exquisite palace and pool. They were respectively a flying palace treasure and a domain treasure. As for the other items, they were mostly precious materials. After entering the palace and arriving at a garden, Zhang Xian saw the mountain guest holding a rock and stroking it with his eyes closed. Teacher Luo Feng respectfully bowed. Mountain passenger opened his eyes and put the rock in his hand to the side. He smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. You sure came fast. Teacher, this place is too remote, otherwise your disciple would have arrived earlier. Luo Feng laughed. Teacher, why did you choose this place to stay? Quiet. The mountain traveler said. Furthermore, this part of the starry void has a diameter of over 1 billion light-years. Although it's a vast expanse of nothingness, it's incomparably barren, making it impossible for races to reproduce here. But I'm a lone ranger and this place treats me quite well. What's more, this is just one of my residences in the primeval universe. By the way, where are your stolen goods? What do you mean stolen goods? Luo Feng was helpless. However, he still took out the godly hammer, armor and green seed that the Deep Fire Lord used. What do you want? Mountain passenger glanced at them. Pinnacle treasure blade. Luo Feng said. The pair of divine hammers that he had taken out was a top-grade supreme treasure that could be stacked, and the armor was also a top-grade supreme treasure. However, the green seed was only an ordinary soul-type supreme treasure. It was worth 60 supreme treasure points in the human race, very close to a top-grade supreme treasure weapon. Not enough. Mountain passenger looked at Luo Feng. I won't take advantage of you. I'll definitely pay 30% less than what you'd pay in the race. But yours is obviously not enough. Plus the blood shadow blade. Luo Feng took out the blade on his back. Since he was going to change, he didn't need the blood shadow blade anymore. Mountain passenger still shook his head. Teacher. Luo Feng stared. I only have one pinnacle treasure blade. Mountain passenger said, even though it's not a pinnacle treasure, your treasures are still lacking. Luo Feng frowned. He was already using all the treasures around him. The ones he didn't use were the treasures in the Blood Cloud Palace treasury. Even though he had gotten many normal treasures from the Deep Fire Lord, they were still classified by Luo Feng as part of the Blood Cloud Palace. After all, he owed the Blood Cloud Palace treasury a little. Right. Within the Deep Fire Lord's world ring, there was still a high-level treasure and the Suppression Valley token. Plus these two. Luo Feng took out a green and gold mixed shield and the Suppression Valley token crystal. Suppression Valley token? Mountain passenger saw and laughed. I've been very bored recently, going to Suppression Valley isn't bad either. Alright, with these two I can barely make it. Teacher, you're going to Suppression Valley? Luo Feng stared. The treasure that appeared in Suppression Valley was a Sword River Luo level treasure, and it wasn't a complete one. Luo Feng had the Chi Mirror Stone, and had high hopes for the Chi God Palace. He didn't have much ambition for Suppression Valley. For the sake of an absolute treasure weapon. Not going to Suppression Valley wasn't a big deal. This was an absolute treasure weapon. Not much weaker than the Sword River Luo. Why can't I go? Mountain passenger stood up. Life is long, one has to find some fun. Mountain passenger walked into the distance, shouting, still not coming, you don't want your treasure blade anymore? Luo Feng followed. This was a hall with very special decorations. There were many carvings on the walls of the hall and there were many pictures. There were pictures of 2 experts fighting on a vast plain, and there were pictures of 1 expert killing a large number of experts. Waves of ancient aura and pressure were emitted from the pictures, and at the same time, the entire hall fell into a strange atmosphere. Almost like I'm in a battlefield. Luo Feng felt his blood boil within the palace, feeling the urge to fight and kill. This made him shocked. Even my willpower is being affected. This palace is filled with treasures, including the decorations. They are all treasures, however the majority are normal treasures. Mountain Passenger said. Luo Feng's gaze swept across. Inside the hall there were many tools, and on the tools there were sabers, swords, ropes, shuttles, maces, hammers, axes, bells, towers, boats, balls, flowers, grass, cloth, shields, sculptures, cubes. There were all kinds of strange objects, and there were thousands of them scattered in the hall. They are all treasures? Luo Feng was shocked. All of them, even the equipment is. Mountain Passenger laughed. Normal treasures can only be casually made. To me they aren't worth much. Like message tags, decorations, etc., they are all normal treasures. Luo Feng was speechless. Even the craftsman god lord wouldn't dare say this. Only Mountain Passenger dared to say that normal treasures were casually made. Which one is mine? Luo Feng asked. In the corner. Mountain Passenger pointed. Luo Feng followed the direction of Mountain Passenger's finger and saw a normal-looking battle blade in the corner. He immediately walked over. The scabbard was gray in color, on it were some carvings, pure and beautiful. The moment Luo Feng touched it, he felt a monstrous killing intent invade him. Rumble. In the endless dark space this battle blade was tens of thousands of km long. It floated horizontally in the endless dark space. As the blade was slowly unsheathed, a terrifying killing intent invaded Luo Feng's willpower. Chong. The blade was completely unsheathed, killing intent filled the air. At this time, Luo Feng's life imprint within his divine energy was completely imprinted within. The blade's name? Absolute Guest. Luo Feng said softly. You can use it for now, this blade is enough for you. Mountain Passenger said, of course the most suitable for you is to use that gold horn world stone as the core to create a pinnacle treasure blade. That's the gold horn world stone formed from the endless gold essence of your internal world. The moment it's made into a weapon it would be the most suitable for you. The only thing is it requires a lot of materials which you can't take out right now. Gold horn world stone? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. So even his teacher had plans. The gold horn world stone is formed from the trillions of kilometers of the internal world's endless gold essence. It's the limit of the metal materials in the primal universe. At least in the primal universe, it's considered the pinnacle of metal. Only in the universe ocean can you find something better than it. However, to your body, a weapon made from the gold horn world stone is the most suitable for you. Luo Feng asked, what materials do I need? Wait until you've killed the universe lord or the 10 pinnacle universe lords before we talk. Mountain Passenger said, this pinnacle treasure blade, Absolute Guest, was made with great effort by my teacher. Don't let it down. Luo Feng nodded. Alright, you can go back now. Mountain Passenger didn't hold Luo Feng back at all. Yes. Since his teacher had already spoken, Luo Feng bowed and quickly left. After watching Luo Feng leave, the Mountain Passenger returned to his garden and sat there. He picked up the stone again and lowered his head to look at it. He lightly sighed and said, when will I be able to improve further? Not long after Luo Feng returned to his god country, he had just begun to familiarize himself with this extremely powerful pinnacle treasure blade Absolute Guest when he received a mail from the virtual universe Primal Chaos City Leader. Luo Feng, Blade River Leader, the Primal Star matter has ended and you still haven't come to find me. Don't you know that the universe lords of humanity haven't rested at all because of your matter? Hurry and come to me. The moment he received the mail, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, his heart couldn't help but race. Naturally he guessed that the Primal Star matter would cause the upper echelons of humanity to hold an emergency meeting to discuss his matter. Now that his teacher had summoned him, it seemed like there was a result. Teacher called me Blade River Leader? Luo Feng couldn't care less, immediately connecting his consciousness to the virtual universe. Virtual universe Thunder Island's highest point. An ancient, grayish-green round table was surrounded by an endless flow of air. Beside the grayish-green stone table were 6 huge stone chairs. At the same time, there were complicated carvings on the back of each chair. Even the grayish-green stone table had a large number of carvings of pictures. Teacher. Sit first. The Primal Chaos City Leader walked over and sat down. He then pointed to the second seat on the left. You sit there. Yes. Luo Feng sat down, simultaneously looking at the table before him. He was filled with curiosity. He had followed his teacher for so many years, yet he never knew there was such a place in his palace. This place was actually a floating land right above the Primal Chaos City Leader's palace. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the carvings on the table. The carvings had many pictures, 3 warriors bowing respectfully to 1 warrior, a lone warrior massacring everyone, and 2 warriors teaming up to attack a group of warriors. The carvings were very abstract. Luo Feng could vaguely tell that one of them was the Primal Chaos City Leader. And my stone chair. Before Luo Feng sat, he noticed the carvings on the back of the chair too. There were many pictures on the back of the chair too. Like a person facing tens of thousands of silhouettes, like a huge oval covering thousands of silhouettes, thousands of silhouettes falling to their deaths. You should have guessed it. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled at Luo Feng. Humanity's highest decision, unanimously approved. You are already humanity's 19th Universe Lord. Luo Feng first couldn't suppress his joy. After which he was shocked within, he couldn't help but say, 19th? Then didn't humanity have a total of 18 Universe Lords before? This was one of the highest number of Universe Lords Luo Feng knew of. Like the Bug Clan and Automaton race, they had very few Universe Lords. It was hard to say if there were more than 10. And the Demon race Universe Lord numbers added up would at most be equivalent to humanity's. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. The data I know why. Luo Feng was curious. His authority before was that of an elite Universe Lord. Regarding the Universe Lords from other powers, including humanity's Universe Lords, he had access to a lot of information. According to what he found, humanity should have 15 Universe Lords. Why 18? You found 15. The Primal Chaos City Leader laughed. No matter which faction, there will always be some secrets. Like the Universe Lords, our human race has a Universe Lord that hasn't been made public. Excluding you, the entire human race has 18 Universe Lords. Our Virtual Universe Company and the Battle Axe Dojo have 5 each, the Universe Mercenary Alliance has 3, the Universe First Bank has 3 and the Universe Galaxy Bank has 2. Luo Feng listened carefully. This was indeed different from what he knew before. The Virtual Universe Company only had 4 members, obviously one had always been in hiding. Of course, including you, our Virtual Universe Company has 6. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. You are also the first of my disciples to reach the Master of the Universe. Haha. At least on this point, I have regained some ground in front of my junior brother. Juniors? Luo Feng raised his eyebrows. He couldn't help but ask, Teacher has juniors? There are 2 junior apprentice brothers. The Primal Chaos City Lord said. The 2 junior apprentice brothers I'm talking about are the Universe Masters. If you count those who aren't Masters of the Universe, there are quite a few. Luo Feng nodded. His own senior and junior brothers also had a bunch of them. Not right. If there were juniors, then there should be a teacher. The Primal Chaos City Master's teacher had 2 juniors who were both Universe Masters. That meant, that teacher had taught 3 Universe Masters? Who was this teacher? Let me first introduce you to the Virtual Universe Company's Universe Masters. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. The first, Dragon Leader. Dragon Leader is one of the earliest elders of the Virtual Universe Company. He's long since stepped into the Universe Master level. You've met him before. The second, my junior, Ice Peak Leader. He's extremely hard to get close to, extremely cold and solitary. However, he's done very well in many important matters. Luo Feng too knew of this Ice Peak Leader. He was an absolute being in close combat. His battle strength was extremely strong. He too belonged to the pinnacle of the Universe Masters. Compared to the Primal Chaos City Master, he was probably just slightly weaker. In the vast universe, he was definitely an extremely powerful being. Compared to the Flame Emperor, he was probably even stronger than him. The third, my junior, Darkness Emperor. He rarely interferes with the big and small matters of our human race. He rarely shows himself. Not many even know of his existence. Back then, he was an extremely low-profile and secretive disciple under my teacher. Unknowingly, he quietly became a Universe Master. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. Luo Feng was shocked within. Darkness Emperor. He had never heard of such a being before. The various powers of the universe don't know of such a being within our human race. Of course, the Darkness Emperor is very famous in the Universe Ocean. He's an extremely terrifying Universe Master. Haha, even if the various powers of the universe meet him in the Universe Ocean, they probably don't even know that he's actually from our human race. The Primal Chaos City Master said. The fourth Yuho Leader. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, before you entered the upper echelon, amongst the 5 Universe Lords of the Virtual Universe Company, this Nether Marquis Lord was the youngest. Also, he was the direct disciple of my junior, Darkness Lord. Ah. Luo Feng was shocked. Yuho Leader was an extremely arrogant and flamboyant person. He was also an extremely strong Universe Master. Of course, he was weaker than the Ice Peak Leader and the Primal Chaos City Master. However, he was still one of the stronger Universe Masters. In terms of battle strength, he was close to the Blood Cloud Palace Leader's disguise back then. Such a Universe Master was actually the disciple of the Darkness Emperor. My junior's disciple became a Universe Master. Now, my disciple too has become a Universe Master. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. From now on, our virtual universe system has 6 Universe Masters. Alright, I'll summon the 4 of them now. At least, our virtual universe system will gather first. The Primal Chaos City Master said. Father and son soldiers, the human race was split into a few small groups. His own virtual universe system was naturally considered a small group. However, from the looks of it, this small group's battle strength was extremely terrifying. The Primal Chaos City Master and Ice Peak Leader were both at the pinnacle of the Universe Masters. The Dragon Leader wasn't much weaker either. Darkness Emperor was even more mysterious and unpredictable. From the sounds of it, he should be comparable to the Primal Chaos City Master. Yuho Leader was a junior, but his battle strength was extremely strong. Luo Feng in this group? His battle strength was probably comparable to Yuho Leader. Of course, this didn't include the Star Tower. Luo Feng sat there waiting quietly. A moment later, a silhouette walked over from afar. He was tall and skinny, with 2 curved horns on each of his ears like 2 scythes. There was also an eye on his forehead, and he was dressed in a dark green scaled armor. As he was in the virtual universe, he didn't carry his signature, Yuho thorn on his back. Yuho Leader. Luo Feng recognized him immediately and stood up. Luo Feng. Yuho Leader was a warrior filled with killing intent. However, when he saw Luo Feng walk over, he smiled and shouted loudly. Yuho. Luo Feng smiled. Teacher uncle. Yuho Leader bowed to the Primal Chaos City Master to show respect. Even though it was just a slight bow, it was enough. After all, he was a universe lord. Sit. The Primal Chaos City Master said. Yuho Leader had just sat down when he laughed loudly. Teacher uncle, right now our virtual universe company has one more universe lord than the Battle Axe Coliseum. Haha, the way those universe lords from the Battle Axe Coliseum looked at us when they were deciding earlier was very interesting. It is interesting. In the distance another silhouette walked over. That tall and sturdy body extending a dragon tail, one look and one could tell it was the Dragon Emperor. It's been a long time since I've seen those universe lords from the Battle Axe Coliseum so unhappy. The Dragon Emperor smiled as he walked over and sat down. Simultaneously he smiled and nodded at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, you were indeed powerful on Primal Planet. One move killed over 6,000 knights. According to our estimations, each of the 3 great alliances lost at least 1 Pinnacle domain treasure. Luo Feng shook his head. I miscalculated. I should have fought with the Banfu Emperor for a while longer, allowing more knights to enter my attack range. The Dragon Lord and the Nether Marquis Lord froze for a moment, then burst into laughter. A cold aura emanated from the laughter. It was a silver-haired man with a blade on his back. He was dressed in an ancient armor that had blood stains on it. Just from his looks, at least amongst the 6 universe lords of the Virtual Universe Company, this Ice Peak leader was the most handsome. And it was in line with the aesthetics of the human race. The Ice Peak leader nodded towards the Primal Chaos City leader and sat down. After which his gaze swept past the Dragon leader Luo Feng and Yuho Lord. The Dragon leader Luo Feng and Yuho Lord all nodded when their gazes met. Cold enough. Luo Feng thought. After waiting a while, a silhouette walked over from the distance. Before the silhouette could be seen clearly, a strange evil energy emanated. From the endless energy flow, the silhouette became clear. He wore a simple black robe, and within the robe was a silver and black peculiar armor. He was bald, his skin was as white as jade. On his head were extremely peculiar and complicated black engravings. Whoever he looked at, it was like a venomous snake in the night spitting its tongue at the back of someone's neck. Even the surrounding space and time was affected by him. The entire space and time was immersed in a peculiar atmosphere. Junior. The Primal Chaos City leader said. Senior. Darkness leader said. Luo Feng was shocked. He suddenly realized the huge difference between his teacher, the Primal Chaos City leader, and the Darkness leader. The Primal Chaos City leader sat there, and that region was filled with endless peace and calm. And the region where the Darkness leader sat was filled with endless darkness and evil, making one's heart tremble. The two were completely opposing energies. And they were completely equal. No wonder he was able to teach the Yuho leader. Luo Feng thought. The Darkness leader had already sat down. He looked at Luo Feng. Senior, this is your disciple Luo Feng? Being stared at by the Darkness Lord, it was like an evil song reverberating in one's mind, causing one to be affected uncontrollably. If the illusion was said to unknowingly seep into one's illusion, then the Darkness Lord didn't hide it at all. Everyone knew of his formless influence, however it was very hard to break free from it. Luo Feng, I greet your senior uncle. The Primal Chaos City leader said. The moment his voice was heard, the surrounding energy immediately became warm, sweeping away the evil aura from before. I greet my senior uncle. Luo Feng said. I heard you've trained for a little over 100,000 years. The Darkness Lord examined Luo Feng. To be able to reach such a level in such a short time, you are indeed my most exceptional disciple over the countless years. Luo Feng said, actually my training time is far more than 100,000 years. I've once trained in a place with extremely fast light flow for a very long time. Everyone including the Primal Chaos City leader nodded. Only then did they understand. However, the energy required to maintain the time room was extremely shocking. The faster the time flow, the more expensive it was, and the harder it was to maintain. And the evolution of the universe was incomparably long. Plus battle was the best way to train, hence very few powers arranged for geniuses to train in certain places. Good. The Primal Chaos City leader's gaze swept. Right now, our virtual universe's 6 universe leaders have gathered. Immediately the Dragon leader, Ice Peak leader, Darkness Lord, Yuho Lord and Luo Feng all looked over, listening to the Primal Chaos City leader speak. In terms of strength and position, the Primal Chaos City leader was naturally the leader of the virtual universe. To be able to produce another universe leader, it's our virtual universe's fortune, and also humanity's fortune. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled, and this disciple of mine in terms of survivability, he's probably at the top of the 6 of us. Ah. The Darkness Lord looked over. The Ice Peak leader too looked silently at Luo Feng. Really? The Lord of the Nether Marquis and the Dragon Travel Lord both asked. Luo Feng. 1. He has the talent to create clones. 2. One of his clones is similar to the 9 Underworld leader. The Primal Chaos City leader said directly. 9 Underworld leader? The Darkness Lord, Dragon leader, Ice Peak leader and Yuho Lord all looked shocked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng said, I was lucky. With his teacher saying this, Luo Feng wasn't unhappy at all. He was very clear, position was earned through strength. From the looks of it, the virtual universe lineage was extremely strong. On the surface, his strength should be close to that of the Lord of the Nether Marquis. As long as he revealed some of his techniques, his status would naturally be different. Moreover, there was no difference whether the boundless Serene Sea's clone was exposed or not. It was just like how even if the Lord of the Netherworld were to announce it to the entire universe, no one would be able to do anything to him. Luo Feng, how big is your god body ocean? Darkness Lord asked curiously. The other universe lords were the same. After all, the Lord of the Netherworld's oceanic godly body was comparable to a supreme treasure, and countless experts were secretly envious of it. My training time is still short, my god ocean is still expanding. Luo Feng said, it's only a few tens of billions of km in diameter. Billions? The Lord of the Nether Marquis took a deep breath. The Darkness Lord, the Dragon Lord, and the Ice Peak Lord were all shocked. Oh my god. Even Li Huoshan and the World Tree, which were considered super large, had a size of more than 100 million kilometers. One had to know that such a divine body was enough to make experts despair. As for the divine body ocean that spanned tens of billions of kilometers, they could only stare in shock. The rate at which the experts attacked the ocean with all their might be far from the rate at which the ocean recovered itself. Amazing. Respect. Such a huge god body. Darkness Lord, Ice Peak Lord and the others all praised, and their impression of Luo Feng had changed. Before, they only thought that the human race had another universe lord. However, Luo Feng's battle strength was still much lower than theirs. However, with the addition of the Endless Ocean, it immediately raised Luo Feng's status. One had to know why was the Netherworld Lord so terrifying. It was because the Netherworld Lord dared to unleash his strongest natural abilities to risk his life every single time. Even if the Netherworld Lord self-destructed, a new Netherworld Lord would appear in an instant. However, even if the opponent had a clone, the cost of losing a powerful god body to recover would be huge. This made the Netherworld Lord one of the most difficult beings to deal with in the universe. Luo Feng. Darkness Lord had a rare smile on his face. Use your ocean clone to unleash the Universe Lord's strongest technique in self-destruct. This move is enough for you to dominate the universe. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Yes. Unleashing I Am the Universe had a very high requirement for god energy. At the undying level, only perfect gene life forms could unleash it. And after stepping into the Universe Night level, the ocean clone's god energy was already 10 times higher than unleashing I Am the Universe. With a body size of over 9,000 kilometers tall, it was completely capable of unleashing I Am the Universe. Directly unleashing a miniature universe destruction ultimate attack. Like his Earth body and the Golden Horned Beast, the reason why they didn't dare use the miniature universe destruction was because the power of the explosion didn't differentiate between friend and foe, even they themselves could be destroyed. However, the ocean clone had no such worries. However, from Luo Feng's point of view, he was currently only a universe knight. The power of the ocean clone's universe destruction wasn't strong enough. Once he stepped into the Universe Lord level, then this move would truly strike fear into the hearts of the other warriors. The trump card of the ocean clone was enough for Luo Feng to obtain a special position. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. In a while, we'll be having the highest echelon of humanity's meeting. Before that, Luo Feng, do you have any plans for your Universe Lord title? Universe Lord title? Luo Feng pondered. The Blade River Emperor was just a disguise you made back then. Right now, the universe races call you the Blade River Leader. You can use the Blade River Leader or change it yourself. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. After becoming a Universe Lord, they might have some thoughts, hence most Universe Lords will change their titles. Like me, I was tasked by my teacher to oversee Primal Chaos City. To make sure I don't forget my teacher's instructions, hence, I changed my title to Primal Chaos City Leader. Luo Feng nodded. He understood. When the Universe Lords were weak, they didn't dare name themselves too powerful, as that would cause other beings to look down on them. And as their strength grew, their ambitions and goals would change too. There were even some who changed their universe titles. Titles? Luo Feng thought. Some warriors used their weapons to name themselves. Some of them were there to commemorate their hometown, or some obsession in their hearts. Some of them were purely ambitious and so on. Milky Way Leader. Luo Feng smiled. I'll be called Milky Way Leader. He still remembered back then on Earth, looking up at the endless Milky Way and stars. Milky Way, that was his hometown. He had come this far, wasn't it to protect his family? Protect his hometown? Leader, that also represented his own territory, he had to protect it. Milky Way Leader. The 5 masters of the universe pondered for a moment and then nodded. The title was just a name. When one decided on one's own title, others wouldn't interfere. Unless the title was too ugly or taboo, like a human destroyer leader would naturally make the other humans unhappy. Normally, as long as it didn't violate the taboo, no matter how weird it was fine. Alright, then the 6th Universe Lord of the virtual universe will be Milky Way Leader. The Primal Chaos City Leader stood up. Let's go meet the creator of the virtual universe. Creator of the virtual universe? Luo Feng was shocked within. The creator of the Huge Axe, the creator of the Huge Axe Dojo. Just who was the creator of the virtual universe? Luo Feng had investigated before, but he couldn't find anything. His authority wasn't high enough. Let's go meet teacher. Darkness Lord stood up too. Let's go meet teacher. Ice Peak Lord stood up too. Immediately the 6 universe lords flew towards the endless chaos energy in the sky, following it. Luo Feng, the Primal Chaos City Leader, said as he flew, "Me, Darkness and Ice Peak, we are all Teacher's disciples. Teacher has contributed greatly to our human race. If not for him, the human race wouldn't have become the Pinnacle race so easily. Even the creator of the huge axe received his guidance and kindness. He is the first strongest warrior of our human race in the universe. Because of him, me, Darkness and Ice Peak, we are where we are today." Following the Primal Chaos City Leader's voice, Dragon Leader beside said, "I too received the guidance of Senior." Luo Feng held his breath. He knew. He had touched upon the deepest secrets of the human race. All these years, he only knew that the human race had the creator of the huge axe. Even from Mountain Passenger, he only knew the creator of the huge axe. He only knew that the strongest human was the creator of the huge axe. He had never heard of another one. Teacher's name is Primal. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, "Back then our human race was just a strong race. Under Teacher's leadership we grew and grew stronger. Teacher roamed the universe, roaming the universe sea, killing countless. His fame was unparalleled, causing our human race to grow stronger. In the Primal universe there were many strong warriors. However, Teacher was unrivaled. The other strongest warriors of the other universes could only avoid him. Even roaming the universe sea, he was the most famous. Unrivaled. No one could compare to Teacher." The Primal Chaos City Leader's eyes were filled with worship, almost as though he was recalling the scenes back then. Even the Darkness Leader, Ice Peak Leader and Dragon Leader were silent, all immersed in their memories. Back then the human race was the universe's strongest power. Even the ancestral god sect, protected by the universe energies, didn't dare to mess with us humans. Back then it was our strongest time. The 6 warriors broke through the skies and flew. The surrounding chaos energy constantly parted. It was completely silent. Only the Primal Chaos City Leader's voice could be heard. Luo Feng was completely immersed in his thoughts. What a powerful being. Even in the Primal Universe and the Universe Sea, he was considered invincible. Even the other strongest warriors of the universe avoided him. "We've arrived," the Primal Chaos City Leader said. The surrounding endless energy flow had thinned. In the distant endless space there was a majestic statue. Luo Feng looked up. Under the energy flow, that unfathomably tall majestic statue had endless law ripples. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light, space, time, gold, wood, water. Many origin laws and even the movement laws rippled out from that statue. Suddenly, Luo Feng felt that this majestic statue was very similar to the universe energies. Primal Chaos City Leader, Ice Peak Leader and Darkness Leader were at the front, Dragon Leader, Nether Marquee Leader and Milky Way Leader Luo Feng were behind. 6 silhouettes broke through space and flew. In the endless space, the closer one got, the clearer the majestic statue became. The greatest being in human history? The strongest being in the Primal Universe and even the Universe Ocean? Nurturing the Primal Chaos City Leader and the other 2 Universe Lord disciples? Luo Feng looked at the distant majestic statue. Even though he had only listened to his teacher's explanation before, his heart was already filled with respect and worship. What a heavenly being. Creating the virtual universe. Forcing the other universe's strongest warriors to avoid him. Making humanity the strongest power in the universe. Even the ancestral god sect didn't want to mess with humanity. His achievements. "This is Yuan?" Luo Feng observed quietly. Originally it was a slightly skinny man wearing a simple white robe. He had a smile on his face. His smile was one of perfection after seeing through everything. Just by looking at the statue from afar and seeing the slight smile on his face, Luo Feng's state of mind became incomparably calm. The warmth of returning to a mother's embrace filled his heart. His eyes seemed to see through everything in the infinite universe. There was nothing he didn't know. His stature was imposing, indomitable. The endless universe revolved around him. "Teacher." The Primal Chaos City Leader, Ice Peak Leader and Darkness Leader all stopped. The Primal Chaos City Leader bowed. "Our virtual universe has another universe leader, he's also my disciple. Milky Way Leader Luo Feng, today I've specially brought him here to pay my respects to Teacher." Luo Feng. The Primal Chaos City Leader turned to look at Luo Feng. "Greetings to your teacher." Luo Feng immediately walked up to the Primal Chaos City Leader and bowed respectfully. Luo Feng greets the teacher. Towards this legendary being, Luo Feng had absolute respect. The human race was able to rise because of the Primal, even the creator of the huge axe was guided by him. The virtual universe was also created by him. If not for him, Earth's history would have changed. "Your disciple has received teacher's orders." The Primal Chaos City Leader looked up at the majestic statue, his eyes gleaming with a special glow. "Guarding Primal Chaos City, protecting humanity countless years, I have never slacked. Now that Luo Feng has become a universe lord, humanity's strength has grown even stronger. I believe that the human race will become stronger and more prosperous." The Master of Darkness and the Peak of Ice bowed as well. They spoke softly but their voices were completely isolated. The atmosphere in front of the statue was very oppressive. The invisible atmosphere affected the 6 masters of the universe present. Even the evil Lord of Darkness was like an obedient child. After a while, "Disciple will take his leave." The Primal Chaos City Master bowed. The other universe masters bowed as well before flying off. The 6 of them disappeared into the depths of the airflow. The majestic statue was still there, just like countless eras. Only the statue's eyes moved slightly, looking towards where the 6 silhouettes vanished. A faint voice resounded, "Luo Feng?" The 6 silhouettes flew within the energy flow. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, "Teacher, why do I feel many origin law ripples from the ancestor statue? It's almost like the universe source land." The universe source, just how powerful was it? Even the strongest experts of the universe did not dare to resist. Billions of races and countless life forms cultivated by sensing the origin of the universe. Only by obtaining the divine power from the origin ocean could they achieve everything. That is the universe origin energy. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. "Right." The always silent and cold Ice Peak Leader said, "However, that is the virtual universe's universe origin energy." The virtual universe's universe origin energy? Luo Feng was shocked. There really was another universe origin energy? Within the virtual universe, everything can be simulated. Any origin law can be comprehended and trained within. This time the one who spoke was the Darkness Lord. His voice was evil and elegant. To be able to sense it within the virtual universe, this virtual universe naturally has its own universe origin energy. If it's just some illusions, how can it allow you to truly train? Luo Feng was speechless. Right, according to his knowledge of the illusions, there was indeed not a single one that could allow the strong to train. Illusions can also allow one to train. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. It can even make one feel no different from reality. However, these illusions can only be unleashed by a handful of the strongest in the universe. Secondly, the nomological laws cultivated there had to be those that the universe's strongest experts knew. Thirdly, illusions that allow powerhouses to cultivate in them consume a lot of energy. The virtual universe was created by the ancestor. Luo Feng said. The laws that can be trained within the virtual universe, does that mean the ancestor knows them all? For the universe origin energy to be formed within the virtual universe, does that mean any ancestor knows it? Luo Feng couldn't believe it. Could it be that the various fusion laws, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, all the individual laws, even the universe laws were all learned? No. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled and glanced at Luo Feng. Back when Yuho became a universe lord and went to visit the ancestor, he too had his doubts. Ah. Yuho, speak to Luo Feng. The Yuho leader nodded and smiled at Luo Feng. The ancestor shouldn't know all the laws. Also, the virtual universe isn't an illusion. It's different from an illusion realm. In an illusion realm, experts would need a large amount of energy to cultivate laws and so on. However, the virtual universe maintains countless experts' cultivation at all times. Even universe supremacies and universe lords are practicing their secret techniques and so on. Luo Feng nodded. If it's an illusion to maintain so many warriors practicing, how much energy would it take? The Yuho leader smiled. And in truth, the virtual universe doesn't consume energy at all. Ah. Luo Feng was stunned. Doesn't consume energy at all? If it was a large virtual space, it would require a lot of energy. And the virtual universe seemed to cover the entire universe. Countless humans connecting to the virtual universe network actually didn't consume energy at all? Junior Luo Feng. The Yuho leader smiled. You said that this primal universe sustains countless races and races every day. The strong battle, even the strong train and swallow the god energy of the origin ocean. You say, does the primal universe consume energy at all? The primal universe energy is eternal. Luo Feng said. The primal universe energy never dissipates, then why does the virtual universe have to consume energy? The Yuho leader said. Luo Feng was shocked. Could the virtual universe really compare to the primal universe? Couldn't be that powerful. Don't underestimate your ancestor. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. Darkness Leader and Ice Peak Leader's eyes too were filled with respect and worship. Darkness Leader said, back when my teacher was in the universe sea, not a single strongest warrior dared to clash with him. They all stayed far away. If he was still here, the other 3 alliances wouldn't dare plot against you. If they did, he would have long killed his way to the 3 alliances and they would have to hand over treasures as compensation. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, then how did the ancestor? How did he fall? Luo Feng didn't finish his words, but the Primal Chaos City Leader and the other beings naturally understood. Teacher, he hasn't fallen. The Primal Chaos City Leader emphasized. Right, he's still alive. The Darkness Leader nodded. How could he die? The Ice Peak Leader said too. Luo Feng was stunned. That, no matter what, the human race only had one strongest warrior in the universe. Even the one he went to visit was just a statue. Teacher's power is overwhelming. Even amongst the strongest warriors in the universe, he is the strongest. The Darkness Leader's eyes gleamed with a dark light. No life form is his match. However, he's still searching for a stronger path. Hence, this goes against the laws of the primal universe. This is challenging the universe origin laws. Luo Feng listened quietly. Challenging the universe origin laws? Previously, when the Void Demon God came to kill him, chains appeared in the void and bound the Void Demon God because of his explosive strength. It was only when the Void Demon God lowered his strength that the chains disappeared. The laws of the universe cannot be challenged. However, Teacher is after all a powerful being. Naturally, he has to break through and surpass them. He has to go against everything. Time and time again. Hence he incurred the universe origin law's punishment. The Darkness Leader said confidently. However, Teacher's strength has already reached the pinnacle of the strongest warriors in the universe. Even when the universe origin laws raged and tried to punish him time and time again, it couldn't stop teacher's progress. He could imagine the universe origin laws punishing him time and time again. Finally, teacher and the universe origin laws engaged in a battle. The darkness leader's eyes were filled with worship and respect. The result was, teacher was eternally suppressed by the universe origin laws. Suppressed. Luo Feng held his breath. My God. There was actually a universe strongest warrior that dared to battle the universe origin laws. It was too crazy. However, the result was tragic. He was eternally suppressed. However, even after he was suppressed, the darkness leader's voice was loud. Teacher continued to unleash the virtual universe technique, causing the virtual universe to cover the entire universe. Only the strongest of the other universe and the universe origin laws, who are able to control the laws, can slightly obstruct him. The area controlled by the star ancestor was unable to connect to the virtual universe. This was the will of the star ancestor. Even the primal stars were unable to connect to the virtual universe. This was because of the universe origin laws. A technique that goes against the heavens, covering the entire universe. The darkness leader looked at Luo Feng. Have you heard of such a powerful technique? Teacher even has a universe lord slave, the automaton universe lord. Teacher made that universe lord the automaton universe lord the entire virtual universe's AI core. The darkness leader said. You should know that the virtual universe has to deal with countless programs every day. It's extremely complicated. Even the strongest universe lord can't take it and crumble. And the automaton universe lord was originally a living AI. After becoming the universe lord, he became even stronger in this aspect. Naturally, he can maintain all of this. Usually, everything is handled by the universe lord. Teacher won't even check on our movements. To see teacher and let him know, the only way is to go to the virtual universe origin laws. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The ancestor is eternally suppressed by the universe origin laws. Is there a way to get out?